Hi everyone. So I don't know about you, but a lot of people have been poorly sick recently. I was really poorly for almost a month. I think I might have had COVID. I didn't even go to the doctor, there's no point really. Massive sinus infection, I was really quite sick. Only took a week off work and went back, which might have been a mistake, but there we go. Also, I have kids to look after, you know, the household doesn't wait. So it's taken me a while to recover. And I think yesterday was not a great day at work, very stressed and a lot of pressure suddenly being put on me. The team that was 5 people 3 years ago is now me, and I have to do a lot of stuff by myself. It's a lot more streamlined and we do a lot less, but yeah, it's pretty hard going. And there are moments when I'm a little bit overwhelmed and I feel like I was heading into burnout, which isn't great. I had brain fog. I have brain fog anyway because of perimenopause, but I'm very tired. You can see that I'm tired even though I'm sleeping quite a lot. Brain fog, fatigue, feeling quite down quite a lot of the time, and just almost quite tearful at times. I've been okay. I'm okay. I'm a very positive person, but I feel like I was heading into burnout. So these are just some things that I do to pull it back, because you can pull it back, and you can pull it back quite quickly as well. So I have a little list so I don't forget. I'm just going to run through a few things. One thing is basically making things. I love baking, I like cooking. I don't do it very often. I'm not really a foodie, but I love the beauty of creating something from scratch, like just making bread, for example. I like making sourdough bread, and I have this starter which has gone completely mental. Like, it's really just keeps overflowing and I feed it, and then the next morning you can see it's bubbled over, and it's like an airtight container, so it pushes out through the seal. And I didn't want to keep throwing out the starter because I pour off a little bit if I feed it, if I don't make bread, if I haven't got time. And so I looked up a recipe for crackers, and making sourdough crackers is the best way to use up. It costs pennies basically, and I've been making these sourdough crackers. The recipe's simple. I'll write it below what it is. It's basically sourdough starter, some olive oil, and anything you want to add to it. Spread it out thin, bake it in the oven until it's crispy. I've been using dried rosemary from the garden that I grow myself. My daughter loves lots of pepper, and I'm going to put other herbs on and see what they taste like, or even just salted. Honestly, even just salty crackers with a bit of hummus or some other dip are just perfect. And it's not even just the eating and the fact that I love the taste, and the sourdough has a really nice texture and flavour, but it's creating something, and your brain can just wander into nothingness while you're making it. You're stirring it, you're spreading it out, and it's just a very mindful exercise. Especially when you're spreading it, it has to be quite thin, not too thin, so it doesn't burn on the edges. And it's a mindful exercise, which is really what you need in these times. You need to stop thinking about KPIs and reports to the boss and people hassling you, and you forgetting to do stuff because you've got so much on your plate. And even in the household, you know, my kids going, oh no, I haven't done this for tomorrow. You know, my daughter had to take something seasonal in today to school that we could either buy or grow, and she was only told yesterday. I mean, that's actually bad from the school, but quite often I'll have a few days notice and I just forget. It just leaves my mind. But I gave her some lettuce because we were growing lettuce over there. So it was seasonal and local and organic, and it had to be seasonal and local, so she added the third one. But they have to eat it, so it had to be something she would eat, so I couldn't give her the wild strawberries we have out the front. But growing things is really great, and that goes on to the next thing, which is growing vegetables. I have my little greenhouse where I have my seedlings. Like I said, I've planted the lettuce already, which is growing, and we're already having in sandwiches and things. And I've planted the onions and leeks. And in the greenhouse I have beans, I have aubergine, I have courgette, I have lots of tomatoes and cucumber. So I'm going to plant those this weekend. It's a long weekend, on the balcony up there, which is an insane sun trap, and also possibly here the sun trap. I need to tidy up a little bit, but the thought of that isn't dread. The thought of that is wonderful. I get to have my hand in soil. I get to just sort out the beds, pull up the weeds. Having your hands in soil actually helps alleviate stress and depression anyway, because you're literally grounding yourself, which is why I try not to wear gloves when I'm gardening unless I'm pulling up like brambles or things. So it's a really not only mindful exercise, but it's actually physically grounding as well when you're working with nature and the earth. And I'm outside, the sunshine is incredible. I try to have my cup of tea every morning out here in the sun, but it doesn't work so much when we have to get the kids to school. We have to leave at 6:45 in the morning to take my daughter across town, which in itself is also a nice routine. Routines are nice. I do tend to have time for tea, but I'm doing it whilst making a snack, so if I could find that more time. So the aim is to be even better, have a routine with my tea. But that is something nice. I'm actually looking forward to that. So we have 3-day weekend, like I said. Sunday is taken up with rehearsals for a play that she's in July. But even that in itself is quite nice because I'm helping with costumes, but most of the time I sit there and watch them rehearse this fantastic Shakespeare play that's going to be put on in the park for 3 weekends in summer. And she's playing a small character who gets murdered, obviously Shakespeare tragedy. But it's wonderful for her to get into theatre properly. But that is also the next point, doing things for myself. I'm doing it for her, but also myself, because I love the theatre. I love going to see the theatre. I love helping out backstage. I just love talking to people that are from all walks of life. The youngest is 11, my daughter. The eldest is in her 80s. Everyone else is just in between, and there's from such different walks of life. You've got Germans, Americans, Canadians, British, Portuguese, and probably others I haven't even mentioned. It's a wonderful group of people. And I feel like I might have made some new friends, which is the next bit, which is the social aspect. Seeing people, getting away from work, getting away from the things that stress you out. Wonderful. We try and do something every Saturday with a friend who's got kids the same age. We often go to a cat cafe and sit there and stroke the cats, which is wonderful. Well, they've got a couple of cats, so we go to theirs, but they're a little bit zoomy because they're still kittens. And we are going to get kittens again after Jimmy died over a year ago, which is nice because I really miss Jimmy. It's been 14 months now, I think, since he died, and it still leaves such a huge gap in me. And that's great also for stress. Cats, the closeness, the purring, the zoomies, just cats are wonderful, wonderful creatures, and they're really great for stress relief. All pets are actually. So that would be a really nice thing. Take the kids to school, come back, sit down, cuddle some cats. I used to do that with Jimmy, and it would just, you could feel almost your heart rate come down, your blood pressure comes down. There's a reason they take dogs to hospitals and old people's homes, because it helps people calm them down. So just doing those small things. It's not about doing one big thing, it's about doing lots of little incremental steps that takes you away from what is causing the burnout or near burnout or high stress. So also taking the kids to school is a great thing. With my daughter it's public transport, with my son it's the local primary school, and depending on who's working what days, I take him a couple of days a week, and it's just over a mile walking, so I walk him there and I walk back. It's so grounding to walk through our neighbourhood. It's such a lovely neighbourhood. You can hear the birds probably. So many birds, so much wildlife, and walking there with him is chatting and I'm connecting with him, and it's so lovely. He's such a chatterbox. He's 8 now. I think we're on the flight path today. I'm walking back, I'm by myself, and I just take in nature. I don't tend to put my headphones in anymore. I just walk and take in the beauty that is our neighbourhood, which is a very beautiful neighbourhood. We're very lucky. I'm so grateful we found this little house. It's just amazing. I can't actually, yeah, it's just wonderful. We lived in a tiny flat before with a little balcony, and having this space, I still love it so much. 8 years on, just the luckiest person to have got this. With Munich prices and Munich lack of housing, we lucked out here. So gratitude is then the next one. Writing my gratitude journal every day. I don't manage it every morning. Sometimes I do it on the way to work, or I do it just mentally, or I do it before the kids get up. It's a tricky one to keep up, but I will write 10 things if I can. And sometimes I just do it in the shower. Just 3 things, 10 things, run through them. It's the feeling that's more important than the writing down. So if you can really feel it in you and embody that gratitude, like I am so grateful that I have this yummy cup of tea. It's Earl Grey today because I run out of normal tea bags, and it's just lovely. And I've got these cute little cups and saucers I bought years ago at a car boot sale, I think it was, sort of a flea market in the UK. And I just love the decadence of drinking out of a cup and saucer, and also the tea just tastes so good from it. There's something about porcelain and tea. That's just quite lovely, and it makes it feel special as well, even though it's just a cup of tea. I like my mugs, but I'm veering towards cups of tea and teapots because there's something more deliberate about it and taking my time, which again is taking me away from the stress and taking me away from what could potentially go to burnout. Outside is important, walking is important, exercise really important, especially there's dementia in my family. My mum sadly is having to move into residential care, which we're trying to sort at the moment from afar. This has really been a big wake-up call, how quickly she's declined from someone who was so sharp, who played tennis, who sang in choirs, who had a seat on the council. She was such a social butterfly. She'd be out almost every night, and she just declined so quickly, and so did my aunt, her sister, and also my cousin on that side. He's only early 60s, he's also already in residential care. I just don't know what's happened. We've never had it in our family. So it's protecting my brain. If I have the gene, I want to ensure that I don't get it, or it's prolonged for as long as possible, that I don't get it badly, because it's so tragic about my mum, who struggled all her life, and now she's finally financially free and owns her own place, which we're going to have to sell. She can't appreciate the money, and she can't do anything. She was very isolated, wouldn't leave her flat because she would get lost. So it's sad, but that's a whole another story anyway. But it's given me the wake-up call to make the most of my life now, not work for someone who just demands so much and has me on a near breakdown on, every couple of weeks. Obviously I have to work for my job, but I want to enjoy my life more as well and really do the things that I love. And in that, I will also reduce the stress of the burnout. And the other thing I've started recently is really read a lot on my Kindle. I've had this Kindle for 11 years now, and it still works fine. It's fantastic. I can read in bed at night when it's dark. I can read when I'm traveling. It's just amazing. I joined actually a library in the UK, which let me join instantly. It's where we used to live, and I instantly had access to all their digital library, audiobooks and digital books. So I'm borrowing books and reading them and giving them back again. It's opened up a world of new books for me. I have, I think, hundreds of books I haven't read yet at home, but sometimes you just crave a particular one and I can get hold of them, or I've reserved them. There's a couple not coming out till July, August, even September. And you reserve them and you see them on the list and you go, this is amazing. I can look forward to that book arriving in my little library at that point. In the meantime, I can read others, and it gives me more of a deadline, a timeline to read things. So I've read, I think, 3 books in the last 2 weeks, and I'm currently on the Morisaki bookshop, which is quite a short book, and I'm about 85% into that, so I might finish that later on today once I'm done with work and got kids from school and everything. And it gives me so much joy just to read by myself. Not so much screen time. We did binge watch the first 2 series of Severance, which I hadn't watched before, which was incredible, but it meant late nights because we would watch 2 or 3 episodes at a time, and I was too tired, and that did not help with my stress levels in the daytime. But now that's over, we can wait for the next series. So on that note, I'll get back to work, finish my tea, and I wish you all a wonderful weekend. And let me know what you do to stay calm, to stop the stress, to avoid burnout, because it's a real thing and we really need to look after ourselves more. And thank you for watching, and cheerio.